The paternity test said not mine, so I sent her the hospital bill with interest. I slid a thick invoice packet across her counter and said, "Calm as a tax auditor on chamomile, net 15. Interest already ticking." 3 years of bedtime stories, 5 figures evaporated, and my sanity stapled together with coffee and color-coded tabs, detonated by one polite lab report period. Don't worry, I brought receipts with footnotes that tell jokes. There's legal judo, compound interest, and a per diem pay number that updates like a weather app. You want drama? I've got it, itemized. But first, we rewind to the hairline crack that made me trust math over vibes and silence over screaming. The tiny crack in the perfect story. Our couple brand could have given a dentist a complex. Brunch photos, matching sweaters, captions that sounded like we co-wrote a Hallmark card with a marketing team. She smiled like a tax refund. I smiled like a man who thought love is a warranty. Then the timeline stopped. Lining. Exhibit A, the girls' trip. 4 days, 0 faces, endless photos of feet near bodies of water. The only man identified was the hotel robe. I didn't care. I was in love and allergic to red flags unless they were on sale. Months later, she says we're pregnant, and my heart breakdanced. I clapped like an inflatable tube man who found God. Then a friend asked the most dangerous question. When did we conceive? I gave a date. She gave a vibe. Vibes don't pay taxes. I laughed it off and blamed calendars, because once I lost my car and found it 2 blocks away flirting with a hydrant. At our prenatal appointment, the nurse chirped with deadly cute confidence, "With your blood types, baby should be A or O." She said it the way people recommend muffins. I mentally stapled that muffin to a bulletin board labeled "Do Not Forget." Later at home, she scrolled decor, and I Googled like an anxious raccoon. Our types plus Mendel equals a polite nope. I heard a tiny crack in the floorboards of our love house and told myself the house settles. Then Jordan started texting after midnight. "Who's Jordan?" "Study buddy," she said, which was adorable because she wasn't in school, and studying makes her break out in naps. Phone flipped face down, notifications off. I only do that during movies and funerals. Her reason, self-care. Okay, spa day for lies. Micro-weirdness bloomed. New fragrances that smelled like debt. Late-night Target runs that returned with no Target bags, just opinions. A sudden interest in privacy that escalated from door cracked to castle doctrine. Did I say something? No, because I loved her, and also because screenshots are forever. I swaddled the paranoia, kissed its forehead, and shoved it in a drawer. Baby arrived. The love is real. So were the eye bags. I was a happy zombie. Then the nurse drops it again. Casual apocalypse voice. Baby's type is B. She slid it across like the daily temperature. I felt my stomach file for divorce. I smiled, said thanks, and nodded like a bobblehead on a roller coaster. I went home and opened a spreadsheet. No accusations, just numbers. Accusations make you the villain with caps lock. Numbers just sit there, smug and undeniable. I became a friendly ghost in my own house, changing diapers, warming bottles, and quietly collecting data like the world's pettiest librarian. I started with calendars. Her girls' trip dates, my work trip receipts, doctor notes, the whole timeline ballet. The chairs were missing when the music stopped. Photos? EXIF data is a snitch that never gets tired. Studying with Jordan? Had a timestamp that high-fived a gym selfie from Jordan with our bathroom towel moonlighting in the background. The towel had a busier social life than me. I stayed helpful. I installed the car seat twice because the first time I installed it to Jupiter's gravity. I bought wipes like I was prepping for a very specific hurricane. Every receipt went into a folder named grocery because nobody opens grocery unless they're hunting cookies. I was hunting custody of reality. I wrote 2 lists. 1, if I'm wrong, I apologize with cake. 2, if I'm right, I turn into a spreadsheet with feelings. Rules for me. No shouting, no threats, no Oscar speeches. If it isn't time-stamped, it's poetry. Poetry doesn't win court. My new alter ego, Budget Batman. I can't fly, but I can itemize, and my cape has tabs. Then came the lab plan. Certified facility, chain of custody so tight it squeaks. I paid in cash because if this went nuclear, my bank statements needed to look like a monk's diary. Swab kit looked like NASA does paternity. I studied tamper seals like they were a second language. Peel, press, witness. I swooned. Yes, over adhesives. Judge me. At home, I was Serenity in sweatpants. She asked why I double-bagged trash. Raccoons, I said. True. The raccoon was me. I tracked mail like a hawk with anxiety. I tracked her like... Actually, I didn't. I tracked facts. She asked if I was okay. I said just tired. Which was true. Tired of gut versus gaslight cage matches. The last straw wasn't dramatic. Shared calendar invite. Brunch with J. The letter J used to be innocent. Now it wore a ski mask. I created my own event. Begin mathematics. I started collecting. not confronting. Because when you confront, people perform. When you document, people trip. Meanwhile, the baby was perfect and loud. I loved him. Love didn't turn off. That's the trick knife. You hold a tiny person who didn't ask for adult nonsense, and your heart refuses to do math. So I did math next to it. I can multitask feelings and formulas. I mapped out contingency speeches too. If I'm wrong, cake, apology, therapy, new towel. If I'm right, lawyer, ledger, silence, poker face, museum voice, judge-friendly formatting. Calm is cheaper than chaos. Also, it ruins her favorite weapon, saying I'm crazy. Crazy doesn't notarize. I would. I hit save on my plan and felt calm. Not vindication, just the quiet you get before you put all your chips on black. Either way, the wheel stops spinning. Either way, we find out. Either way, I keep every receipt. The secret mission for DNA. I pick the lab the way I pick avocados. Firm reputation, no weird bruises, and a sticker that screams certified. Their website bragged about chain of custody like it was a love language. I made an account under my alter ego, Budget Batman, because if I can't fly, I can at least encrypt. Cash payment, not because I'm shady, but because I want my bank statements to read like a monk's diary. Woke up, ate nothing, judged everyone. They handed me a kit that looked like NASA's idea of a good time. Barcoded everything, tamper seals with more attitude than me before coffee, and instructions written by a lawyer trapped inside a scientist. I studied those seals like they owed me child support. Peel here, press there, initial like your integrity depends on it, because it does. The phrase, witness signature, gave me chills. I've never swooned at a sticker before. Growth. Operation Swab Baby couldn't be a Broadway show. No fanfare. No fun science with dad TikTok. Babies are tiny CEOs who hate your agenda. I built a routine. Bottle, burp, boop, humming Twinkle Twinkle while I did one quick cheek sweep like a magician who bills hourly. Gloves on, swab in, seal snapped with that little plastic sigh that says, try me. My sample happened in the mirror with the solemnity of a baptism, if baptisms used cotton on a stick. I timed it between laundry cycles so nobody barged in asking where the tiny socks live. Signed the label like John Hancock after a personality transplant. Photos of every step with timestamps, then backups of backups because paranoia is cardio. I nested the kit back together with funeral precision. Each swab in its tube, each tube in its bag. Bag in the biohazard pouch, pouch in the box sealed like my text from 2012. I stared at the seam an extra 5 seconds, which is how long bravery takes when it's store-bought. Mailbox stakeout became my new sport. I learned the mailman's name, his route, and the golden retriever at the corner whose worldview is mail equals love. Day 1, I missed him and casually admired a tree for 8 minutes like a man with hobbies. Day 2, I delivered the box with the smile of someone who definitely isn't holding proof his life is a sitcom. Then tracking. Refresh, refresh, refresh. In transit. Arrived. Processing. My inbox turned into a casino, and I was the sad guy pulling the lever like it owes me closure. I set alerts that could wake the dead, or at least me from revenge naps. Contingency scripts ran in my head like bad trailers. Scenario A, I'm dad. Cake, apology, therapy, new towel, because ours did a cameo in Jordan's gym pics. Scenario B, I'm not. Lawyer, ledger, silence so loud you can lean on it. Either way, no performance, paper only. Before the results, I called a lawyer with a voice like calming Muzak for disasters. He said the sexiest sentence I've heard, document, don't detonate. We rehearsed my lines until they sounded like I was narrating a nature doc about consequences. No threats, no gotchas, no text essays. Judges like facts and naps. I would supply both. 48 hours felt like dog years. I cleaned the kitchen like it insulted me. I froze my credit because spite isn't the only thief in town. I changed passwords to full sentences with punctuation. May I please have my dignity back? And enabled two-factor on my toaster. Then the email arrived with the bedside manner of a parking ticket. Results available. My hands forgot vowels. Password wrong. Password reset. New password stronger than my will to small talk. The PDF opened. One line. Excluded as biological father. Period so heavy it had its own gravity. The room tilted like my living room decided to become a carnival ride. I checked the barcodes, the dates, the chain of custody like a man trying to wake from a bad math problem. Still excluded. I laughed a small, broken laugh that sounded like a shopping cart with secrets. Then I got busy. Screenshot, save, encrypt, cloud, double cloud, physical print on the good paper. Notarized copy because Linda at the mail counter and I are trauma bonded now. I slid a copy into a folder named Yoga Poses because if she snooped in Downward Dog, she'd see the truth. I made a bottle. The baby monitor glowed like a lighthouse guarding a coastline made of lies. Love didn't switch off. It just sat there, stubborn and warm. while the facts stacked chairs. I whispered to the quiet room, "I won't fight you. I'll invoice you." Then I opened a fresh document and titled it Reality Served Cold. Tonight's special: chain of custody confit with a reduction of statutory interest. Early bird discount if paid by day 10. Reservations strongly recommended. Clinical truth, human collapse. I read the line again like maybe the font would apologize. Excluded as biological father. The period wasn't punctuation. It was a manhole cover over my last 3 years. My laugh came out like a shopping cart with a wobbly wheel and a secret. Hands cold, jaw hot, brain buffering. Okay, facts are here. Feelings can wait in the lobby with a beeper. Chain of custody? Tight as a jar your uncle closed for freshness. My name, baby's code, witness signatures, barcode conga line, screenshots, redundant backups. One copy to the cloud I don't trust, one to the cloud I do. One printed on the good paper that makes the printer grunt with respect. I stamped the time like a nervous TSA agent. If anyone asks what I did when I found out, the answer is paperwork. I called my lawyer before I called my best friend because we prioritize adulting now. He answered, sounding like decaf justice. "Well," he said. "Excluded," I said. He inhaled the way people do before lifting a couch. "Okay? Breathe. Now we memorialize. You are a postcard from Calmtown." He rolled out the plan. Duplicates, notarize, certify, don't text her anything but weather. He even gave me a script, short sentences, nouns over adjectives. Feelings belong in therapy, not exhibits. I wrote it on a sticky note like commandments for the recently betrayed. Then I did the mundane apocalypse. HR audit, dependents, beneficiaries, who can change what without asking me. Just routine, I lied, while printing confirmation PDFs like confetti at a sterile parade. I froze my credit because spite isn't the only identity thief. Two-factor on everything, including the garage door and, emotionally, my heart. Passwords turned into full sentences with punctuation and self-respect. May I never ignore the math again? I requested the hospital itemized bill, which reads like a novella about things that beep. For my records, I said to billing, the 4 sexiest words in administration. I pulled insurance EOBs, matched them to bank charges, and highlighted CPT codes like the world's pettiest art student. If it bled or beeped, it got a line. If it was a grilled cheese that tasted like despair in the cafeteria, it got a line too. Comedy is truth with receipts. Then the crash in a quiet room. I stood over the crib and watched a tiny lung practice being alive. You know what doesn't disappear with a PDF? Love. It sits there, warm and inconvenient. I kissed a forehead and swallowed a grief that had corners. My therapist later called it ambiguous loss. I call it emotional tax. Either way, I paid it. Her text arrived. "Can you grab oat milk?" The universe has a bad sense of humor. I typed sure, because I was not going to make aisle 7 of plant-based a battlefield. I kept my museum voice in my pocket, next to a list of escalation paths the lawyer and I wrote like a disaster prep checklist. Step 1, calm. Step 2, document. Step 3, let the paper carry the temper. I built the demand skeleton, not the muscles yet, just the bones that say, I am a structure. Categories, dates, totals. I added an interest tab and felt my soul purr. Nothing wild, just the statutory rate in a suit and tie. Compounding monthly, per diem, big and bold like a sticker that says don't be late. Revenge is messy. Interest is tidy. I picked tidy. Then I wrote the 1-sentence script I would use when the room got loud. I have verified documentation excluding me as the biological father. We're handling everything through counsel. Practiced it out loud until my voice stopped wobbling. Practiced breathing that wasn't a gasp. Practiced not defending myself to imaginary juries of mutual friends who major in vibes. I started noticing the world again in high definition. The hum of the fridge. The pattern of the rug we spilled formula on. The way my phone, finally, was quiet. There's a relief that comes with certainty, even when the certainty is brutal. It's like traffic clearing after an accident. You still drive past the wreck, but your lane is finally moving. I allowed myself one small collapse. I sat on the bathroom floor with the shower running, not to cry dramatically, but to drown out the part of my brain that wanted to write her a monologue. The monologue is always a trap. She'd turn it into a duet and steal the high notes. Paper doesn't duet, paper solos. Then I staged my life like an audit. Valuables photographed, serial numbers logged, Wi-Fi renamed to faxed _G because, yes, I'm that guy. I put a calm playlist on loop that sounded like pianos apologizing. I cooked pasta and ate it standing up because chairs felt too vulnerable. I set a dead man switch email to my lawyer that says, if I get hit by a bus or a lie, here's where the receipts live. Paranoid? Maybe. Prepared? Absolutely. Her car pulled into the driveway, and my heart tried to sprint. I leashed it, museum voice on. Sticky note commandments ready. I wasn't going to accuse. I wasn't going to narrate. I was going to present. Because clinical truth isn't mean. It's antiseptic. It stings. Then the wound stops lying about what it is. Before bed, I opened the portal one more time and read the line again. Not to hurt myself, but to build callous. Excluded as biological father. Okay, tomorrow, logistics. Tonight, I get to sleep in a house where the only noise is the dishwasher and a very tired man deciding that dignity can be laminated. Confrontation. Gaslight speedrun. I set the table like a courtroom with coaster privileges. One glass of water, one envelope labeled reality, one me breathing like a yoga app. She came in humming, kicked off her shoes, clocked the envelope, and smiled like a cat about to explain evolution to a goldfish. What's that? She asked, already annoyed at it. Open, I said, museum voice engaged. My hands were steady until they remembered I own nerves. She peeled it, saw the header, and did a full emotional CrossFit. Confusion, offense, panic, sincerity on clearance, and then outrage with glitter. What is this? She asked the paper labeled in large letters, certified DNA results. I gave the line I practiced so much it has frequent flyer miles. I have verified documentation excluding me as the biological father. We're handling everything through counsel. These tests are wrong all the time, she said, speedrunning denial. I tapped the chain of custody, pinky forward like a judge who knits. Certified lab, witness swabs, barcode conga line. She pivoted so fast my neck popped. You swabbed the baby without asking me? Law allows it when paternity is in dispute, I said. Information, not invitation. She tried romance. We are family. I slid forward the calendar with girls' trip starring the letter J and the nurse's cheerful blood-type prophecy highlighted like a traffic cone. I kept my tone IKEA manual. She hated that more than truth. Tears arrived on cue. I can't believe you don't trust me. I inhaled, tasted copper, almost laughed. A tiny giggle escaped, rogue and disrespectful. Her eyes narrowed. You think this is funny? No, I said. I think it's arithmetic. I covered my mouth because sometimes dignity needs a lid. She slapped the table, tiny earthquake of audacity. I will take you for everything. You'll never see him again. My voice cracked once. There's the human. And then found the rail. I won't be seeking custody or paying support. This is strictly reimbursement for documented costs. Silence fell like a dropped plate. She pivoted to history rewriting. You were distant. You worked late. Jordan was a friend. I rotated a selfie where Jordan's gym towel photobombed our bathroom. Dates, times, receipts. Her mouth did algebra and lost. She tried pity. I was vulnerable. I nodded like a therapist with a coupon book and slid the nurse's note again. Vibes aren't dominant alleles. She went social warfare. People will think you're a monster. People are allowed hobbies, I said. Mine is receipts. Page 1 answers questions. My phone lit with phantom text from the future. I let them drown. Put the paper down and talk to me, she pleaded, soft as a landing with no runway. My jaw trembled anyway. I almost launched the monologue I wrote in the shower. Almost. Then she said, he calls you Dada, and the floor tilted. My throat clicked. I stared at the wood grain until it stopped being a face. I said, very slowly, I won't weaponize a child. That's why this is paper, not performance. One tear escaped. I let it. She leaned in like she smelled victory. My hands were shaking. I laced them together and turned the tremor into a fist no one could see. I slid the second packet. Itemized costs with interest schedule. Net 15. Per diem in bold. Today's price of lying. She glanced, blinked like the number slapped her. You can't charge interest. I pointed to the statute like a waiter pointing at the specials. Reasonable rate, monthly compounding, early payment discount. Try the soup. Desperation got creative. If you drop this, I won't tell anyone what you did. Tell them I audited my life, I said. At least spell statutory right. She stood up so fast the chair hiccuped. You're ruining us. Facts existed before this conversation, I said. I didn't ruin. Is it shit and I discovered it. She hated that sentence on a cellular level. She went for nuclear. I'll tell the court you're abusive. My laugh came out shocked and mean. Document it, I said. Bring dates, times, witnesses, and bruises made of math. Bring your best fiction. I brought nonfiction with attachments. My lawyer will enjoy the matinee. She started pacing, muttering logistics like incantations. We can fix it, we can fix it, we can... A phone buzzed. She flipped it, then remembered flipping is a confession. She tucked it under a thigh like a toddler hiding a cookie. It's work, she lied to the ceiling. I considered a snark, skipped it, museum voice only. I don't have this money. she said finally, small and honest as a sidewalk crack. Payment plan proposals in writing by day 10, I said. Automatic transfers. No promises, just digits. Late fees climb like stairs. She stared at the per diem and whispered, "You're serious. Extremely." My voice almost warmed. Then I put the lid back on. She tried affection as a coupon. "Can we just start over?" My eyebrows filled out a refund request. "Kindly review the part where biology did a plot twist. I'm not rebooting a series that already got canceled by science." Her shoulders dropped. "Who else knows? Counsel and my therapist. If anyone asks, they get page 1. She waited for more. There wasn't more. I signed the acknowledgement of receipt, time-stamped. She held the pen like it might give her rabies, scribbled, and pushed it back like it burned. As I stood, she said my name like an elevator alarm. I paused. "If I pay, do you hate me less?" "Hate isn't on the invoice," I said. "Interest is." Then I walked to the guest room on legs that felt rented, shut the door, and listened to the house practice a new sound. No yelling, just paper settling. Legal triage. Positioning for war you don't start. I woke up hungover on paperwork. No booze, just a headache shaped like a signature line. Step 1. Counsel. I forwarded the results, chain of custody, and my fledgling ledger with the subject line, logistics, not lava. He called, voice like chamomile in a suit. "We are not choosing violence," he said. "We are choosing order." "Great," I replied. "Order comes with folders." We built a checklist that slapped. Notarized copies? On Linda's altar by noon. Certified duplicates? Ordered. Tracking numbers tattooed on my soul. Chain of custody receipts? Stapled like corsets. He drafted a cover memo so dry it could desiccate lies. Facts, citations, dates, totals. No adjectives. Adjectives invite arguments. I want nouns that bench press. HR audit next. Dependents, beneficiaries, who can press buttons without my face. Routine review, I lied, while printing confirmations like a confetti cannon sponsored by Prudence. I split direct deposit, rerouted the emergency fund to an account named after a vegetable, and turned on alerts so aggressive my phone now judges sneezes. Money moat time. I froze my credit at all 3 bureaus, and the bonus one only accountants know about. New passwords became full sentences with punctuation and resentment. I do not finance lies. 2-factor everywhere, including the garage door, the coffee maker, and, spiritually, my hope. Joint cards? Trimmed. Shared autopay? Evicted. The budget spreadsheet purred like a cat that hates everyone but me. Insurance tour. Health, life, auto, renters. "Hi, just confirming authorized users and recent changes," I said, wielding policy numbers like tiny swords. I revoked online access, set paperless to me only, and added a fraud flag that screams if a goldfish blinks near my deductible. Every rep gave me a reference number. I logged them like baseball cards. Favorite stat, 0 nonsense. Hospital billing and insurer, double date. I requested itemized statements for everything that beeped, prenatal to pediatric, and asked for CPT or ICD codes because acronyms are my kink now. "For my records," I said, the sexiest 4 words in administration. They emailed PDFs so long I needed snacks. I started a folder named Beeping Regret and fed it. Communications quarantine. New email for legal. New number on a silent SIM. Old number stayed live for screenshot archaeology. Read receipts off, then on, then off. Because power is a jacket and I was trying sizes. Rule. 1 reply per topic, 1 sentence. Lawyer CC'd if it smelled like gasoline. My thumbs learned restraint. My drafts learned brevity. I told exactly 3 beings, lawyer, therapist, and a notebook that swears it won't tell. Everyone else got the press release, handling a private matter, not discussing. If they pushed, they received my favorite sentence, "I'm billing for my costs." Watching people back away from that line is like watching a cat see a cucumber. House triage. Photographed valuables, logged serial numbers, renamed the Wi-Fi to fax unders G so the router understood the vibe. Changed door codes, collected spare keys like Horcruxes, and boxed sentimental items for off-site sanity. I vacuumed the guest room because pettiness likes fresh carpet. Demand packet architecture. I turned the skeleton into a body. Tabs. Medical, gear, nursery, taxes/admin, interest. Each tab opened with a 1-paragraph roast of reality and ended with a subtotal that did push-ups. Interest memo cited the statute with the calm of a librarian who has seen too much. Compounding monthly, per diem bolded like a roadside warning. Procrastination ahead, daily toll $47.13. Payment terms, net 15. Grace period, 5 days. Late fees, a modest thunderclap. Payment hierarchy, Interest first, then fees, then principal, like every lender I've ever side-eyed. Early payment discount, 5% off accrued interest by day 10 because I believe in mercy with deadlines. Portal options, ACH, cashier's check, or a law firm vault that looks like a bank and bites like a lawyer. The consequence ladder was printed in pleasant fonts to soothe the panic in dumb hearts. Unpaid at day 15, small claims in tranches, medical first, because scrubs photograph well. Persisting balance at day 35, civil action for the grand buffet. Day 60, liens and wage garnishment exploration, bring boots, not threats, weather. Social wildfire prep. My lawyer drafted a defamation napalm in a teacup. We see your beige slides. False statements will be billed. Attached, truth. I set keyword alerts for my name plus creative insults. If she wanted to play PR chicken, I brought receipts and a rotisserie. Therapy remained on the calendar like a lifeguard. We rehearsed scripts for bait. Talk to me. Just meet. We can fix it. My answers became muscle memory. Through counsel. Logistics only. Payment portal link. She can sing. I don't dance. I timed the certified mail drop like a heist montage. Packets sealed. Return receipts pre-stamped. Copies on a tamper-evident drive because chain of custody looks good in court selfies. Process server on standby in case she pretended the USPS is a rumor. Before I hit send, I did the ethics check. Is this fair? Would I defend it to a stranger who dislikes me on site? Yes. I'm not charging for heartbreak. I'm charging for invoices I didn't consent to subsidize. Time has rent. Lies owe arrears. I clicked transmit. The portal blinked to life. The certified label printed with a smug little grin. My phone didn't explode. The world didn't end. Somewhere, a printer sighed. I poured coffee, tasted calm, and felt the strangest emotion. Boredom. Drama is loud. Order is a whisper with teeth. I prefer teeth. The ledger of lies. Hospital and medical. I opened the medical tab like a magician revealing doves, except my doves were bills wearing scrubs. First line, prenatal. Every routine visit came with a CPT code that charged me for the privilege of hearing a whoosh. Office visit, whoosh fee. The gel that turns your partner into satellite TV. I highlighted codes until my spreadsheet looked like Miami. Copays sprinkled in like Parmesan. Insurance said allowed amount, with the confidence of a bouncer deciding who gets into club coverage. Labs? A festival of needles with names like indie bands, Panorama, Harmony, Please Venmo Us. Each had a facility fee, which I assume is the cost of a recliner you're not allowed to recline in. Glucose tolerance test, 3 blood draws, 2 snacks, 1 bill that could adopt a highway. Genetic screening priced like I was buying honesty on the open market. I circled the duplicate charge and wrote, in the margin of my soul, pickpocket, with a stethoscope. Insurance premiums hummed, steady and smug. Monthly deductions I paid like church tithes to Blue Cross, who responded with, we covered your vibes and denied your life. Deductible met, deductible not met, out-of-network gremlin hiding under the bed. I matched every EOB, those this is not a bill postcards, with the actual, haha, yes it is bills. If a decimal point tried to sneak out, I dragged it back by its underscore. Delivery was Coachella. Facility fee, suite with a view of your future. Obstetrician fee, catcher's mitt, premium leather. Anesthesia billed like VIP access to pain going away. Pre-anesthesia consult, main event. Post-op, you good? That lasted 45 seconds and cost the price of a weekend getaway. Sterile tray fee, which I assume included a napkin with attitude. Pediatrician wandered in, said, he looks great, and charged keynote rates. I wrote a note, $230 for 6 minutes. TEDx my wallet. Pharmacy receipts lined up like soldiers with child-proof helmets. Prenatal vitamins dense enough to stop a small bullet. Anti-nausea meds. Postpartum painkillers with warnings that read like a Greek chorus. Each bottle with a register handshake. $10 here, $40 there. I saved them all because petty is just organized disappointment. Pediatric follow-ups. Newborn, too weak. Is spit up a lifestyle? Vaccines coded like alchemy. Allowed amount versus billed amount. My favorite toxic relationship. I created a column called Math is a Boundary and taught it to bite. Tiny human, large math. The scale beeped. So did my ledger. Hidden costs tiptoed in. Parking garages ran a grief surcharge. The cafeteria sold me a grilled cheese with imposter syndrome for $12. I logged 2 vending machine offerings to the gods. 1 jammed, 1 judgmental. Mileage to appointments multiplied by the IRS rate because yes, even my gas wanted a refund. Tolls, a car wash after the biohazard blowout, listed as cleanup of fate. Not reimbursable by anyone with a conscience, so I invoiced the person who ran out of that.
Insurance coordination was a scavenger hunt designed by people who hate nouns. Out-of-network lab shipped blood to a cousin in another state with a microscope and vibes. Appeal filed. Partial adjustment 1. I wrote chaos tax recouped in the cell and experienced an emotion close to joy. Briefly, I standardized file names like a librarian with revenge. YYYYMDD private ear service CPT.pdf. I OCR'd the PDFs so a judge could search grilled cheese and find fiscal regret. I built subtotals with labels that smirked. Prenatal subtotal, we listened to whoosh. Delivery subtotal, welcome to Earth, here's a bill. Pediatrics subtotal, tiny shots, big math. Pharmacy subtotal, pills with feelings. Hidden cost subtotal, parking, grief sandwich. Anesthesiology got its own tab because wow, pre, during, after, all priced like pain is a boutique. I calculated per second cost of the epidural and wrote it in 14-point font, 92 cents per second of relief. Worth it, still billed like a yacht. The anesthesiologist owes me a mixtape. I added a mini glossary for opposing counsel who may be allergic to acronyms. CPT equals code that invoices. ICD equals reason they claim to care. EOB equals letter that promises nothing. Next to each big ticket item, a footnote with a
joke, because judges are humans, allegedly. CPT 01967, anesthesia for labor and delivery, aka turn it off, thanks. The insurer tried a magic trick called bundled services. I unbundled them like headphones from a pocket. Facility charge for room and board, as if we ate drywall. I split nursing care, supplies, and the monitoring fee, which I renamed Beep Rental. If a line item said MISC, it got interrogated until it confessed to being specific. Receipts for the lactation consultant, saintly, out of network, cash only. Worth every dollar still, dollars. I logged the cash withdrawal and attached a photo of the handwritten receipt that looks like hope in cursive. When in doubt, I trusted penmanship with empathy over portals with hold music. The subtotal landed with a thud even my spreadsheet felt. That number could buy a reliable used car named Closure. I bolded medical principal and stared until my eyes needed HR. Then I wrote one clean sentence beneath it. Interest accrues at the statutory rate, compounding monthly per attached memo. Per diem printed in bold like a dare. I printed the tab on the good paper, stacked the exhibits behind it, and slid the packet into the section labeled Beeping Regret. If it beeped, bled, or required a wristband, it's here. Not a rant, not revenge, just arithmetic with a mean resting face. The ledger, nursery, gear, and daily burn. I opened the gear nursery tab and could hear my debit card scream softly. Baby Stuff is a theme park where everything is pastel and nothing costs under $50. First ride, the crib. Not just a crib, a convertible sleep ecosystem, which is marketing for wood rectangle plus screws that judge you. The mattress had to be its soulmate because capitalism invented monogamy for foam. Add fitted sheets, because apparently square fabric without elastic is a hate crime. Stroller shopping felt like test driving tiny Teslas. We got the one with a one-handed fold, shock absorption, and cup holders that imply I'm hydrated and coping. Then the lightweight travel stroller for when we forgot the first one by the door because parenting is just prop comedy with receipts. Car seats? Thrones. One base in my car, one in hers. Emergency base at grandma's house so no adult is ever free. I paid a guy named Tony to install them because I respect physics and fear YouTube confidence. Monitors? I went full NASA. HD video, night vision, breathing alerts, humidity readouts, and a subscription because even anxiety is SaaS now. I logged the monthly fee under sleep tax and thanked the algorithm every time it binged static at 3 a.m. White noise machines multiplied like guilt. One donut per room, bedroom, nursery, living room, because quiet requires infrastructure. High chair arrived in a box that whispered, "You will bleed assembling me." Adjustable height, wipeable cushions, and the personality of a gym bench. Then a travel booster that folds like origami and pinches your soul. I documented the return fee under comedy because we kept it out of spite for 6 days. Bottles and nipples? Welcome to the Museum of Shapes. We bought slow flow, medium flow, anti-colic, vents, no vents, glass like we own a dishwasher that believes in us. The baby picked a favorite like a tyrant picking a throne. I logged rejected sets under curriculum vitae of failure. Pacifiers needed leashes because they seek exile under couches. Teethers shaped like fruit, keys, cactus. One took a public restroom swan dive and got a funeral at sunset. Diapers are a long con. We tried 3 brands. Subscribe to bulk shipments that arrive exactly when the hallway can't handle boxes. Cloth diaper phase lasted 6 days and 2 existential crises. I logged the detergent and therapist overlap as a Venn diagram of hubris.
Wipes in every room, glove compartment, and jacket pocket like I was smuggling damp napkins for a living. Clothes. Onesies with snaps that require a minor in cartography. Footies with zippers that lie because someone always misaligns at 3 a.m. Tiny jeans, which are a crime against squish. Growth spurts ate wardrobes whole. I separated gifts from purchases so Aunt Linda doesn't innocently bankroll betrayal. Return shipping for duplicates? Tuition to the school of merch regret. Nursery storage became a lifestyle. Bins, labels, vacuum bags for outgrown sizes. I was told to save for the next one, which is hilarious in hindsight. I installed a closet system that looked sleek online and wobbled in person. Return shipping cost my last nerve. I logged damages like a petty claims adjuster. One picture frame gnawed. One shelf toppled during a crawling jailbreak. One plant deceased of curiosity. Photos attached. Exhibit. Gravity is undefeated. Baby gate compound activated. Top of stairs, bottom of stairs. One for the cat's dignity. Outlet covers, cabinet locks, corner bumpers that make furniture look like it joined a bubble wrap cult. Health kit, forehead thermometer, ear thermometer, and the nose one we do.
Not name. Celine Mist. Nail clippers built by a Bond villain. Aspirator that sounds like a tiny Dyson. Receipt labeled booger technology because I honor truth in labeling. Bath gear. Sink tub insert. Temperature duck. Waterfall. Rinse cup. Towels with ears because parenting is 40% ears on textiles. Free of everything soap. Lotion that cost more than my moisturizer. And a brush gentle enough to convince you their scalp is made of moonlight. I logged the time it took to learn to wash a person who folds in half. Laundry exploded. Detergent for sensitive skin. Stain spray for existential stains. Dryer balls that clack like a haunted maraca. The water bill spiked. I calculated the delta and filed it under utilities escalation. Graph included because charts are my love language now. I also paid the cat tax. New scratching posts to stop her from expressing feelings on stroller fabric. Feeding chair cushion. Playmat. Swing that shushes with the confidence of a sleep guru and breaks exactly 1 week after the warranty window. I listed the repair parts and the emotional surcharge. Floor toy arch with dangly things that crinkle. I itemized my lower back therapy after removing batteries at 2 a.m. Photos required cloud storage upgrades. Memories take space. Grief takes more. I logged the monthly fee as Hope Archive. I'm not ashamed to bill for hope. Wall art decals peeled off paint. Touch-up paint receipt added under aesthetics recovery. Curtain blackout panels because day naps require engineering. I built a registry audit like a forensic accountant with a soft heart. Filtered to purchase by me. Matched order numbers. Highlighted duplicates I absorbed because the registry thought we needed 6 sippy cups and the baby union agreed. Warranty registrations attached. Protection plans that exclude acts of child circled in red with a rude face. Finally, my time. Assembly hours for crib, dresser, gates. I build at a modest rate, annotated with splinters and one bandaged thumb. Late night runs to the one pharmacy that still believes in formula after midnight, mileage and bad coffee included. I logged Spotify lullaby playlists under intellectual property of sanity. Subtotal rolled in like a soft avalanche. Gear/nursery/daily burn principle. Bolded, framed, petty. I wrote the line at the top. If it beeped, blocked, soothed, or strapped in, it's here. Then I printed the tab, stacked receipts behind it like little soldiers, and whispered to the calculator, do not flinch. It didn't. It just hummed, and I moved to the next fight. The ledger, taxes, and paper cuts. I opened the taxes admin tab like a horror movie where the monster is math and khaki. The IRS and I are not enemies. We're pen pals who send each other expensive feelings. Step 1. Call my accountant, a woman whose voice is a heated blanket for numbers. I said, hypothetically, if a dependent was actually a plot twist, what happens? She sighed in TurboTax. Amendments, she said. 104X for the years you claimed a fairy tale. Remove child tax credit, dependent care credit, adjust filing status if you flirted with head of household. Add interest, maybe penalties. I added a therapy emoji with my mouth. We opened last year's return together like it was an autopsy. Dependent? X'd. Child tax credit? Evaporated. Dependent care credit? Shrunk like a sweater in hot water. If you used an FSA for daycare, she said, the IRS may want a slice back. I pictured Uncle Sam holding out a carved wooden bowl labeled oops. We recalculated the standard deduction, filed supporting statements, and drafted a cover letter that read, Dear Government, here's the DNA novella and chain of custody sonnet. My accountant stapled my dignity to a Form 8275 disclosure and patted me through the phone. HSA review next. I used it like a good citizen for her medical orbit. HSA rules. You, spouse, dependents. Plot twist. She is not an HSA-eligible fever dream. We triage charges.
Some expenses were mine, allowed. Others, questionable, flagged like a yard sale. For the gray areas, we built a memo thicker than my patience. Dates, providers, CPTs, receipts, and the sentence relied in good faith on erroneous assumption of paternity, which is legal for oops, but with receipts. Stimulus echoes and advance credits? The spreadsheet coughed. We cleaned up that math too, the kind that sneaks in when Congress tries to be Santa. Interest owed back to Treasury is like paying rent to a landlord who never fixes the heat. Fine. I itemized civic pain, principal givebacks, interest, accountant fee, postage for certified envelopes that smell like consequence. I pulled every 1095, 1099, W-2, and those smug "this is not a bill" letters that still somehow ruined dinner. I scanned, OCR'd, and renamed files like a librarian with a trench coat. Why, early in 1095B insurer. .pdf, why, amendment explanation. .pdf, why, of FSA, us EFSA. I wrote a cheat sheet titled, "To Whom It May Concern Who Pretends to Be Confused," with a glossary, HOH equals no.
Longer flirty, CTC equals return to sender. FSA equals nice try. HSA equal facts only. Opportunity cost deserved its own little funeral. I pulled my calendar and highlighted the gigs I passed, the PTO I torched, the promotions I deflected because bedtime needed a bassist. I billed my time at my real hourly rate, not the nice guy discount, and slapped it under lost time, not lost temper. Conservative numbers, aggressive clarity. Footnote, not punitive, compensatory. Yes, I talk like this now. Admin fees bled out quietly. Certified mail, notary visits, bank cashier's checks because sometimes money needs a costume. I logged reference numbers like baseball stats. Linda, my notary queen, got a bouquet and a line item. Notary, pep talk included. I added a category called paper cuts that bleed real. Portal subscription, secure cloud storage, the password manager that makes me feel judged but safe. Then the penalties boogeyman. My accountant said we'd request abatement for reasonable cause, relied on contemporaneous belief of paternity, corrected promptly upon discovery, supplied complete documentation. Translation. I believed the bumper sticker. The engine disagreed. I fixed the registration. Worst case, I pay the government's version of a late fee and get a gold star for neat attachments. I dared to dream a partial mercy. Interest, my favorite petty adult. For taxes owed back, I don't pile on. Uncle Sam already runs a compound interest CrossFit. Those amounts I list as pass-throughs. What I pay is what I bill. Receipt stapled to the sorrow. For admin and accountant fees, they join the main ledger where my statutory interest waits in a sensible suit. I added a per diem line to the taxes and admin summary, like a tiny alarm clock. Each day you dawdle costs you a coffee you can't afford. I printed the tab on the good paper, spine straight. Summary at the top. Amendments filed, credits reversed, interest due to Treasury, professional fees, admin costs, opportunity cost, documented. All supported by exhibits. A through this is why we keep receipts. Then one clean sentence. Government doesn't do vibes, only math. Today, I am the government you earned. I slid taxes and admin behind medical and gear, a neat little trilogy. Beeping regret, pastel bankruptcy, civic pain. I looked at the grand subtotal and felt my soul put on sensible shoes. Not rage, not glee. Just the quiet click of numbers aligning like teeth in a zipper. Then I bolded the per diem again, just in case her eyes needed a hobby. The interest, time value, and penalty. Interest isn't revenge, it's rent. My money has been subletting in her storyline, leaving dishes in the sink, eating my labeled leftovers, and calling it mutual. Time to evict with fees. Rate first. I flirted with prime plus the audacity premium, but I picked the state statutory rate for judgments because judges like numbers that wear ties. Respectable, boring, unassailable. I highlighted the statute like a tiny lawyer with a highlighter fetish and wrote a memo titled, "We're adults, we do math." Compounding or simple. I tried to be merciful for a full 6 seconds. Then I remembered midnight formula runs while she posted brunch with the letter J, monthly compounding it is. There's mercy, then there's math. I chose the one that doesn't lie. I built an amortization tab that made my spreadsheet blush. Columns for principal, start date, months outstanding, comp factor, accrued interest, per diem. Every category got its own clock. Medical starts when the card got swiped and my soul sighed. Gear starts on delivery date because that's when the stroller started judging me. Taxes and government givebacks? Pass-through. Uncle Sam already compounds like CrossFit. I'm not double dipping, I'm double checking. Inflation adjustment? I'm not pretending last year's dollar equals today's. Conservative index because opposing counsel will cry anyway. I CPI touched big ticket items to present value. Crib, stroller, NASA baby monitor, then interest on the adjusted principal. Let them cry into spreadsheets that don't care. Late fees needed a personality that says firm hug, no punch. Grace, 5 days. Days 6 to 30, a modest 3% late fee on overdue principal plus accrued interest. Miss a month? Fee resets. Interest compounds on the new total. It's not vindictive, it's a calendar with teeth. Payment hierarchy. Interest first, late fees second, principal last, like every lender I've ever side-eyed at 19. If you want the number to get smaller, feed the interest. If you want it to get angrier, ignore the emails. I printed that in bold because pedagogy matters. Then I ran scenarios because anxiety is a project manager. Pay in full by day 10, 5% discount on accrued interest, my version of early bird special. Day 15 on the dot, full freight, polite handshake, ghost until day 30? Congratulations, your balance learned to do push-ups. Day 60? It now qualifies as a used car named Consequence. I designed the summary snapshot like a roadside billboard. Category totals, current accrued interest, and my favorite petty toy, the per diem. A big friendly number that says every sunrise costs you $47.13. Educational pain, daily reps for accountability. I gave myself a rules check. Am I charging for heartbreak? No. For lies? Tempting, but no. For money advanced, time elapsed, and admin I didn't consent to bankroll? Yes. If a stranger who dislikes me reviewed this, would they nod? Probably while Googling my statute. Good enough. I tucked a mercy clause in the memo because my therapist keeps trying to civilize me. If paid in full by day 10, interest discount. If proposing a plan, it must be in writing by day 10, with automatic transfers and dates that exist on real calendars. No promises, no pinky swears, no as soon as. The portal doesn't speak italics. I added cross-default language to the cover page. Missed the medical tranche. The gear tranche glares too. My lawyer purred, which is how attorneys clap. I also added a no offset for vibes line. You cannot apply memories, future apologies, or beige Instagram slides toward principal. Cash, cashier's check, ACH. Feelings are non-fungible and non-refundable. Then the pettiness flourished disguised as clarity, a timeline strip across the bottom of page 1. Today's date, day 10, day 15, day 30, day 60. Under each, what interest looks like, what fees trigger, what filings queue up. Not threats, weather. Pack an umbrella or get wet. I printed the interest packet on the good paper that says, we recycle after we win. Per diem starred at the top. Statute citation footnoted. Case law cameo for seasoning. I slid it behind medical, gear, and taxes like a quiet chaperone who enjoys detention. Last test. I read it out loud in my museum voice. It sounded like a math teacher who discovered stand-up. Clean, dry, funny if you hate chaos. I pictured her reading the per diem number with that tiny recoil, like truth has a flavor she can't swallow. Good. Education takes many forms. I closed the laptop, felt my pulse move from drum solo to metronome, and wrote one more line on the cover. Interest isn't punishment. It's the invoice time sends when you ignore reality. Then I underlined the per diem, not twice, once. Enough. Delivery strategy. Public, legal, unemotional. Delivery day needed fluorescent honesty and 0 drama calories, so I booked a bland conference room at a co-working space, the kind of place where dreams wear lanyards. 2 chairs. 1 table, 1 water pitcher that looked like it had a LinkedIn. My lawyer sat to my left radiating Your Honor energy. Carol, the building manager, witnessed with a clipboard and an aura that said both notary and bouncer. Recorder on the table, little red light blinking like a heartbeat for facts. She arrived late, sunglasses indoors, tote bag that could smuggle a small dog or several lies. I stood, nodded, sat. Museum voice. Thanks for coming. Today is logistics. I slid the packet forward like I was serving a very boring entree. She didn't touch it, so I began the script I'd sewn into my bones. You'll find 4 sections. Medical, gear, nursery/daily burn, taxes as admin, and interest per statute. Payment terms are on page 1. Net 15, early payment discount through day 10, late fees, and compounding per schedule. Portal link is in the remit sheet. ACH, cashier's check, law firm vault. No promises accepted as currency. She finally opened to the summary page, saw the total, and blinked like the number slapped. Is this a joke? She asked the paper. No, I said. It's an accounting. Every line has a receipt. Every receipt has a date. I tapped the per diem with my pen. This figure updates daily. Education through arithmetic.
She pointed at the interest memo like it insulted her shoes. You can't charge interest. Statutory rate, I said calmly. Monthly compounding. Citation in the footer, supporting memo in the back. Early discount if paid by day 10. I recommend punctuality. It's cheaper than courage. Why the witnesses? She asked, darting a look at Carol, who adjusted her badge like a sheriff of fluorescent hallways. Accuracy, I said. This avoids he said, she said. We prefer they recorded. The recorder blinked in polite agreement. My lawyer's pen clicked once, which in lawyer is a standing ovation. I flipped tabs with the confidence of a magician revealing bills. Medical. Beeps with invoices. Gear. Pastel bankruptcy. Taxes as /admin. Government doesn't do vibes. Interest. Times rent with footnotes. She skimmed until the photos of receipts started staring back. She stopped at the interest ladder, reading the dates like a horoscope written by a calculator. This escalates. Deadlines tend to, I said. She tried to pivot into feelings. Can we talk like humans? We are, I said, and I lifted the acknowledgement of receipt. Sign and date, please. She didn't reach, so I kept the demo rolling. Payment plan proposals accepted in writing by day 10. Automatic transfers only. Miss a date? Late fee triggers. Interest keeps its job. Cross default across categories. Think of it like adulting with a syllabus. People are going to hear about this, she warned. Yes, I said. They will hear about page 1. My counsel will address defamation with invoices. Page slides count. Carol almost smiled. My lawyer actually did, which is how I knew this meeting had vitamins. She tried negotiation with a coupon code energy. If you lower the total, I'll fix the story. Corrections are not currency, I said. Totals change for receipts, not posts. Early payment discount still applies. Early payment discount still applies. The portal is agnostic to apologies. Her phone buzzed. She flipped it face down automatically, then remembered what that reveals on a molecular level. It's work. The recorder captured the sentence like a butterfly. I turned over the remit page titled Pay Without Drama. Routing numbers. Scan code for the portal. Instructions wrote themselves. Do not sell my soul. What if I just can't? She whispered, small as a paper cut. Propose a plan by day 10, I repeated, museum calm. Or partial remittances can apply to principal while interest continues. Payment hierarchy is interest, fee, principal. That's how lenders behave. I learned from the best. She finally picked up the pen. What if I refuse? Then I file small claims for medical tranches on day 16, I said. Civil suit prep at day 35. Liens and wage garnishment exploration at day 60 if balances persist. Not threats, weather. Bring an umbrella or get wet. She stared at the recorder, then at me. Who even are you now? An adult with a spreadsheet, I said. She snorted despite herself. You always were. I slid the acknowledgement again. She signed, hand trembling exactly once. Carol notarized the moment with the crisp snap of a stamp that has seen things. I placed a sealed flash drive on the table in a tamper evidence sleeve. Duplicate of everything for your records. Chain of custody preserved so nobody has to pretend to trust anyone. She poked the sleeve like it might hiss. What happens if I pay today? Portal updates in real time. You'll receive an automated receipt and a human confirmation. Mercy looks like a timestamp. Interest stops growing the moment the funds clear. She tried one last door labeled nostalgia. We had good times. I nodded. Those aren't legal tender. We did. Her mouth folded around a comeback that never found verbs. She stood. You're really doing this. I am really billing for my costs.
As we walked to the door, she reached out, fingers hovering like a truce. Can you just not make me the villain? The recorder blinked. My museum voice didn't flinch. I'm not making a story. I'm balancing a ledger. Page 1 tells itself. In the hallway, the carpet smelled like coffee and ambition. My lawyer clapped my shoulder once, heavy as a gavel. Carol held the door like a saint of mundane miracles. Behind us, paper settled into truth. Ahead of me, boredom. Blessed, fluorescent boredom. Fallout, her spin versus my silence. By the time I hit the parking lot, her Instagram had birthed a beige carousel with weaponized cursive. Slide 1. Healing isn't linear. Slide 2. Sometimes monsters wear spreadsheets. Slide 3. A quote about resilience next to a latte. My phone buzzed like a beehive with Wi-Fi. Friends? Coworkers? One uncle who only texts in all caps, "You good?" I replied with my sacred mantra. Please see page 1. If they pressed, they got the encore. I'm billing for my costs. Watching a group chat shift from spill to O in 3 bubbles is better than melatonin. Close friends list apparently became audience for fiction. She posted voice notes, ragged breathing, strategic sniffles. He swabbed the baby like a lab rat. Fact check, cheek swab, chain of custody, romance of signatures. I didn't correct a syllable. Silence is cheaper than PR. Silence invoices. Her mom dialed in with the moral authority of a casserole. You're tearing this family apart. With evidence, I said. Counsel has the documents. She tried the grandma card. I put up the velvet rope. The child is off limits. Logistics only. I'm billing for my costs. Somewhere in the background, a microwave beeped. Even their appliances respect receipts. Jordan finally did a soft launch of his ego. Gym selfie. Caption, real men provide. Provide what, sir? Towels? I screenshotted it into a folder labeled comedy and watered my plants. Growth, but chlorophyll. The smear tour went local. She DM'd our mutuals. He's unstable. He's extorting me. My lawyer hummed like a cat who found a sunbeam. We sent the gentlest cease and desist you've ever seen. Dear you, we see your slides. False statements are billable. Attached, truth. She pivoted from extortion to heartbreak, which is a lateral move from libel to vibes. Family group chat tried to turn into a courtroom with emojis. Aunt Linda wrote, "We don't air laundry." I said, agreed. Mine is washed, dried, and filed by date. Then I left the chat like a magician disappearing into boundaries. My mom texted 3 words. I brought lasagna. That's love in a casserole pan, and also a peace accord. She called late, voice flat from all the acrobatics. How do you sleep? With earplugs and boundaries. Then, because consistency is a love language, I added, payment portal link is on page 1. Click the friendly QR. Her best friend slid into my inbox with a TED Talk. As a woman, I replied with 11 words. I'm billing for my costs. Page 1 has the truth. She blocked me, which is closure with sparkles. The portal analytics showed viewed 7 times. No remittance. The per diem ticked like a small bomb with manners. Day 3. Notice of intent to sue filed. Beige slides suddenly became quotes about growth featuring eucalyptus. She DM'd me a selfie mascara adjacent and wrote, "This is killing me." I sent the portal link and a polite reminder. Early payment discount ends day 10. A romance of deadlines. Then a text from a new number stumbled in like it lost its keys. We need to talk. It might be mine. Hello, plot twist. I replied the way a man replies when he's finished being a plot device. Contact my counsel. Documentation only. Process, not feelings. 3 dots. Nothing. 3 dots. Can we keep my name out of it? Counsel will handle proposals. I'm not your PR. I'm not your weapon. I'm a bill. Meanwhile, she tried negotiation, toddler edition. If you lower the total, I'll fix the story. Corrections aren't currency. Totals change for receipts, not posts. What about a payment plan? By day 10, in writing, automatic transfers. Can you be human? I am. That's why there's a grace period. She attempted a sympathy speedrun on Facebook, where empathy goes to vacation. He changed the Wi-Fi and locked me out of my life. Ma'am, it's named Facts, under to G. People commented hearts. My lawyer commented nothing. He mailed a second letter with the tone of an accountant wearing velvet gloves. Payments began like timid birds. A small ACH arrived from an LLC that sells protein powder in denial. Memo, partial equipment. Equipment is my new favorite euphemism for diapers. The portal applied it to principal. Interest continued doing Pilates. A relative sent a transfer labeled gift. We labeled it remittance. Updated statement went out with the per diem in a font size that teaches. Friends asked if I felt vindicated. No, I felt organized. Vindication is expensive and loud. Order is quiet and pays out daily. I kept therapy on. The calendar laughed only in footnotes and started sleeping with my phone on Do Not Perform. She tried a last, big swing. A 15-slide saga, beige on beige, titled My Truth. Slide 5 implied I stole. Slide 9 hinted at unseen bruises. We sent the final letter, retract or litigate. She deleted the deck and posted a photo of a sunset with choose peace. Congratulations on inventing peace on day 9. On day 10 at 11:52 p.m., she wrote, "Can we talk? Just us?" Through counsel. Do you hate me? Hate isn't on the invoice. Interest is. Will it always be like this? No. Pay it, and it stops. Then my phone went quiet in that specific way. That means adulthood happened. Day 11. Another nibble hit the portal. Day 12. A bigger chomp labeled hospital. Day 13. Silence. Interest did what interest does. It taught. I made eggs, answered 3 emails, and watered the plant named Boundaries.
She finally called at lunchtime, voice hollowed out. If I pay, will you stop? I will close the ledger when the ledger is balanced. She sniffed. You sound bored. Boredom is what healing looks like from far away. By evening, the portal chimed like a cash register on chamomile. Partial today, promise of the rest soon. The portal does not accept soon. The per diem smiled and stayed exactly itself. I texted one sentence through counsel. Updated balance attached. Early discount expired. Thank you for your payment. She posted a black square with white text. Accountability is love. I didn't screenshot it. I sliced lasagna, opened my window, and let quiet do what gossip never does. End. The side thread. Finding the actual dad. I didn't go hunting for the bio dad. I was busy teaching interest to do push-ups. But the universe loves a cameo. 3 days after the portal went live, I got a DM from a burner account with punctuation that paid taxes. We need to talk. This might involve me. Translation. Hello, plot twist in gym shorts. I replied like a man who put feelings in a Tupperware. Contact my counsel. Documentation only. He tried a soft open, not trying to start drama. Drama already started without you and borrowed my socks. My lawyer scheduled a call. I listened on mute and sipped tea like it was evidence. The voice belonged to a man who pronounces protein like a lifestyle. He introduced himself with a name that sounds like a tax deduction and said he'd been around during the girls' trip era. Around is a circle. Congratulations. He asked if I could share the file. Cheerfully no. What I can share is the process. Certified lab, chain of custody, witness swabs, no vibes accepted. He exhaled like accountability was pollen. He booked the test. I sent 2 messages. Use a real lab and seal your kit like it owes rent. He sent a thumbs up, the emoji of men who think thumbs are contracts. 48 hours later, because apparently time respects irony, my lawyer called. Positive. Not for me, for bench press brunch. Biodad unlocked. Achievement. Complicated. He texted immediately. Can we keep my name out of it? Sir, I'm not your PR intern. I'm the guy sending invoices. Counsel stepped in with surgeon hands. You can remit funds without admissions. We will not coordinate narratives. He asked for routing information with the panic of a man Googling, what does per diem mean? First wire hit under an LLC that sells powders and denial. Memo. Equipment. Equipment lives rent-free in my head. Portal applied it to principal. Interest did Pilates. He followed up with, does this make it go away? Numbers go down when numbers go in. Your reputation is between you and your front-facing camera. He wanted receipts for his records. I sent a redacted summary. Dates, totals, no nursery photos, no footnotes about how his towel cameoed in my bathroom. He tried to haggle interest. We sent the statute, a calendar emoji, and the early bird discount line he already missed. He wired a bigger chunk for medical only. Memo. Hospital. Great choice. Scrubs always photograph well in court. Then his girlfriend, yes, arrived in my DMs with a monologue and a throat made of caps lock. Did you know he? Ma'am, I'm in logistics. I gave her the sacred line. I'm billing for my costs. Page 1 has the truth. She sent a skull emoji and blocked herself out of my piece. Growth. Meanwhile, their friend group imploded like a folding chair at a barbecue. Screenshots arrived uninvited. The main chat split into subchats. Someone added no screenshots like that ever worked. And a cousin discovered airplane mode as a lifestyle. She posted a quote about truth. The comments section looked like a library where one toddler is having a feelings recital. Biodad tried one last human thing. If I cover most of it, will you stop pushing her? There is no push. There is a due date. I am not a cliff. I'm a clock. He went quiet long enough to learn. Another wire landed. The portal smiled in spreadsheets. He asked, are you going after me next? I don't go.
After. I accept remittances. If your conscience wants a payment plan, our portal is agnostic to shame. He sent a final text. This is a lot. So are babies, sir. Welcome to the genre. I didn't parade his name. I didn't screenshot his panic. I archived the transfers, updated the balance, bolded the per diem so it could continue its public education campaign, and closed the thread. Not my circus, just my refund. In therapy, I called it administrative grace. Let people meet their math in private. The ledger doesn't care who wired it. It cares that it cleared. The kid doesn't need more adults performing. He needs fewer adults lying. My role is invoices and silence. By the end of the week, the portal history looked like a weather map. Small showers, a brief downpour, then calm. Her contributions, his contributions, and the daily drizzle of interest doing what it does, reminding everyone time is not free. I poured coffee, looked at the balance ticking towards 0, and felt something almost disrespectful to drama. Boredom. Blessed, fluorescent boredom. The kind you earn when you stop being a plot twist and start being a spreadsheet that bites. Closure. Paid, protected, and bored of drama. Day 15 arrived in business casual. At 9:12 a.m., the portal chimed a little ka-ching that sounded like therapy with benefits. Ache cleared. Principal across medical, gear, and a respectable chunk of interest. Memo line. Settlement. I whispered back. Education. And sent my lawyer a thumbs up emoji because words felt loud. We executed the paperwork like adults who read syllabi. Mutual non-disparagement with teeth. No blind items. No beige carousels. No passive-aggressive plants. Violations trigger liquidated damages per post that would make an influencer start couponing. She signed with a sigh. I signed like a man whose pen had been waiting all season. We added the no admission of fault clause because everyone deserves a bedtime story that doesn't end in court. Blocks went up like scaffolding. Phone, block, email, filtered to legal only. Socials, hard wall with a velvet rope for receipts. The only channel left open was the portal because spreadsheets deserve sunlight. I sent the paid in full acknowledgement for the tranches she actually paid, applied the remaining remittances to the balance, and, because Mercy wears a watch, waived the last sliver of interest in exchange for silence with punctuation. I cleaned my digital life like spring came early. I archived the yoga poses folder, zipped the exhibits into cold storage, and labeled it with the only romance I have left. Why, oi, closure, final point zip. I turned off 3 alerts I didn't need anymore and left one, the per diem, because petty hobbies die slowly. Then I made breakfast that wasn't eaten standing over the sink. Progress tastes like eggs. I returned family baby gifts with receipts and dignity. Aunt Linda cried into a dish towel, then knit me a beanie that says boundaries like it's a sports team. Each box got a note, repurposed, not erased. I donated the extra gear I'd bought, white noise donuts, the spare mobile, a blanket with whales, to a shelter. I logged the deduction, obviously. Charity is good. Documentation is my love language. I called the pediatrician and said, politely, remove my name from non-legal contact and billing. They did, efficient as a click. I updated beneficiaries and closed the joint-adjacent relics in my banking like a museum shuttering a cursed wing. The rep asked, any reason for closure? I said, minimalism, and she let me have it. Therapy stayed on Tuesdays because healing enjoys calendars. We retired the scripts and started on the parts of me that became laminated. Anger turned into jokes. Jokes turned into stories I don't need to tell out loud. I went back to the gym and moved weight that wasn't metaphorical. My sleep stopped performing hostage negotiations with my phone. Work noticed the quiet. I took a project I paused during the chaos, finished early, and sent it in without apologizing for breathing. My boss said, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. I said, spreadsheets, and he laughed. The thing about laughter is, it sounds better when it's not hiding knives. She sent one more message through counsel. Thank you. No flourish, no beige. I replied with an updated zeroed statement. That's as close to grace as I get on paper. On Sunday, I stood in the room that used to be the nursery and let it be a room again. Sunlight landed on the wall like it forgave the paint for trying too hard. I took one photo, not for court, just for the version of me who held bottles at 3 a.m. and hummed nonsense to a tiny person who never asked for any of this. I didn't delete the photo. I deleted the compulsion to explain it. Here's the wisdom I paid for. Trust math. Save receipts. Love carefully. Set boundaries early. Compound interest is real for money and energy. Forgiveness is a private ledger. You don't owe anyone a screenshot. Mercy and distance can share. Rent. And when someone hands you a vibe, ask for an invoice. I sent my lawyer the final "we're done" email. He sent back a single period, which is lawyer for amen. I closed the portal tab, not with a slam, just a click. The house breathed like it had been holding in its stomach for months. I made coffee, added nothing, and sat down like a person with nothing urgent to prove. Boredom pulled up a chair. I let it stay. The last transfer cleared, the portal hit 0, and the silence in my house finally sounded like furniture instead of sirens. If you want the exact templates, interest calculator, and the pay without drama remit sheet, watch the next episode. Subscribe so you don't miss the Ledger Toolkit, and send this to the friend who still trusts vibes. Save receipts, save yourself.